Just waiting for this to start going. Let's see. All right, looks like we're ready to rock here. I see the gameplay, the video going. What's up, everyone, and welcome to yet another evening with the Xbox Roundtable podcast. With this being show number 230, the premier Xbox talk show on Sunday nights. This is yours truly, Invader, and hey, it's fantastic having you all here with us. Earlier today, it was the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase, and for the entirety of this show, we'll be discussing all of the announcements, reveals, and more from it, and give you our opinions. Obviously, we're just going to be diving right into it, but first, let me introduce everybody on tonight's panel, kicking things off with Eric Shockley. Buddy, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good. So definitely some things I like, some things that could have been a little bit better, but we'll get into it tonight. But yeah, not much. Just been enjoying the weekend, playing some games, and getting further in my Resident Evil remake. I bought it as a kid because I was a big GameCube fan. Had it day one, and then I was like, cool, I'm gonna get that Resident Evil game I never got to play because I had a 64. And then I got halfway in, but that game in middle school kind of gave me creeped me out. So it's like game was too intense back then. So I'm trying to right my wrongs and make it through. So, but yeah, just been playing some Resident Evil this weekend.
All right, sounds like a good way to ease into the weekend with some Resident Evil and whatnot. Let's see here. Moving on down. Centurion Pal, what's up?
What is up, guys? It is Sunday night, and boy, was it a fun state of play. Nope, that ain't it. Game Fest? Oh, what show? What? Oh, the Xbox Showcase. Yes, the Xbox Showcase. The one, the only. The thing that has people with the salt flowing, the satire going, the petitions are being signed. Xbox had a show today. Let's discuss it.
That's right, my friend. That's right. And let's see. Moving on to somebody else here. TXR, buddy. I know you were early on making the rounds on the podcast scene. How you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. I think they had a decent show, a good showing, a lot of salt flowing. I see my friend Jay, he's really hard at work, my brother. Yeah, I mean, we're going to go into this. It's looking like the Xbox had another good day, and, they're really kind of set themselves up well here. I think that... I'll explain why I think that this show is kind of a gamble and why I paid off.
All right. Well said, buddy. I can't wait to hear your comments. Down the list, GeneralMLD, buddy. I know you were kind of avoiding social media the last day or so. Ready to dive into things?
Oh, yes, I am. Overall, I was blown away by this. They clearly heard what we wanted to see, and I think they delivered, but, we'll get into all that. Otherwise, yeah, just been playing Elden Ring, almost done that game. Amazing game. Again, first-time Souls player, highly recommended, but, yeah, there's just so much to talk about. Can't wait.
Yeah, no doubt, buddy, no doubt. And finally, to round out the crew, Crusader Pal. Again, you're another guy who was making the podcast rounds earlier. I know you're kind of running low on energy, but hey, bud, don't worry, we'll make it through. How you been?
I'm good. I was on Mooch's live cast today. Not technically Crossfire, but same channel. And I was on Basement Radio Arcade podcast today. Both were great. Loved to be in on both. Very tired, but we're gonna have some great discussions because there was a bunch of stuff I'm excited for, and I have some comments otherwise.
Yeah, Crap and Brab seem like they're best friends now after that dust up they had a few weeks back.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I've had dust-ups with Crap, and I'll give
that
him
one
one
went
thing.
super left. I remember that one.
We had a really bad one. Believe me, it was just as nasty as that one. But I'll give Crap one thing. He doesn't hold grudges, and he's I think he's come a far way, to be honest, than from what he used to pull on. But I gotta say that I gotta give him credit that he doesn't hold grudges and he just moves on.
Yeah, he has been coming around to Xbox as of late, so I guess that says a little something, right? So there's hope for everyone. But yeah, guys. Before we begin, a reminder to everyone tuning in that you can find us on a wide range of audio platforms. You know the drill: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and many, many more. As well, please consider leaving a like for this episode and sharing it out, as we would love to have as many people here as possible joining in on the Xbox conversation, the Xbox and Bethesda show. All right, guys, why don't we, without further delay, my friends, let's dive right into here, break right into things. And after plenty of months deliberating and speculating what we could possibly see for the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, they had it earlier today, unveiling quite a few titles and, lots of gameplay. That's probably going to be the talk: gameplay. And I know everyone here is just salivating at the chance to lead off with this one. And to get us started, I will go over to, I'll start off with you, GeneralMLD. But I know, again, you were avoiding all the possible spoilers leading up to the event. So tell us, what did you think of the Xbox and Bethesda show? Was it worth it?
I definitely think so. I mean, I basically been off on all of Saturday, and even post show, I kind of wanted to have my own take, not affected by the takes of everyone else on Twitter at the same time. So my pure take, not seeing anything else and other reactions, I really, really enjoyed it. Because first off, people saying no gameplay this, no gameplay that, those narratives are dead. That is exactly what they've shown. And they show perhaps too much gameplay, like a lot of gameplay. For one, okay. Well, I mean, let's just start from the top. Also, Game Pass is pretty much essential going forward. That's another narrative crushed. People saying that Game Pass is not needed, or there's some kind of drought or whatever. Everything you saw is on Game Pass. Even if it's multiply, it's on Game Pass. It doesn't have to appeal to everybody, but I feel like there was so much shown. Everyone has seen at least a few games that appeal to them that are worth keeping sub to Game Pass. And it's going to grow so much more from here. They are really taking Game Pass seriously right now. But yeah, enough about that. I'm going to get into the games. Open with Redfall was actually a nice opener. I was kind of meh towards Redfall, kind of wait and see. But now I'm genuinely hyped to play Redfall. Definitely has some Prey kind of. It felt a little bit like seeing Prey, gameplay wise, Prey, but obviously with a different setting. But I'm looking forward to that exploration and even the co-op elements to that. Forza was that was just gorgeous. They're putting just as much detail into the tracks as they are into the cars itself and the physics itself. Ray tracing in game. They Turn 10, I think, blew us all away with what to expect, especially compared to what the competition is doing. These guys are taking it to the next level. I don't even care that it's coming out in spring. This game looks like it's worth it. It's worth the wait. This will be the definitive console sim, racing sim, for the generation, easily. The Kojima partnership, that was a nice surprise. Of course, it's still early on, years away, but the fact that they partner with Xbox Game Studios means that it does seem like it's Xbox ecosystem exclusive. That's great. That's a historic partnership. Can't wait to see what they do with that. Starfield. Okay, I'll leave Starfield for the end. But some nice time exclusives: Arc 2, Scorn, High on Life. I'm a big Rick and Morty fan, so that was a nice thing. Flintlock.
That looked good.
Oh yeah, that looks really interesting. Flintlock. Let's see. Grounded being finished. Pentiment. I'm actually really looking forward to Pentiment. I know it's not that kind of game that people online are gonna be really bragging about, but it's not really about that.
You love Stu Valley game, and it's kind of like that, So you've had a history of liking those games.
Oh yeah, this is one of those despite how it looks like an indie game, sure, but this is this looks like a premier choice driven kind of game. And that is way up my alley. So It may be a smaller game, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. Pentiment, that's one of my most anticipated games this year. Flight Sim, that was actually a nice surprise seeing the Pelican was introduced in Flight Sim. That was pretty cool to see. Like I might try, here and there, but that was pretty good. Plague Tale 2, see more of that. Game Pass Day 1, multiply, but that's okay. We get the preferential treatment. Minecraft Legends was very nice. Like the rumors kind of said like some kind of strategy game or whatever, but now we get like this action game, like action adventure game. Okay, great. Like Minecraft's a great IP. Like this works. It fits. Persona coming to Xbox, that's historic. Never happened before. So just shows where the generation is going. Let's see here. Dusk Falls. Again, a smaller game. It's experimental game. But if the story's good, hey, why not? If they say the story was like impactful and depends on your choices and all that stuff, I mean, okay, I'll give it a shot. Hopefully the story blows me away. But I think, of course, Starfield, I think most of us can agree. I think Starfield stole the show. People have been saying Starfield gameplay this, gameplay that, show us gameplay. Oh, they showed us gameplay, all right. Like, and it's the scale is so big. Like, it's not No Man's Sky big, but that's in my opinion, that's a good thing. Like, I want but still 1,000 planets to explore the whole planet,
100 space universes or whatever.
Oh yeah, like it's huge. Again, like I just played Mass Effect not too long ago, and this is like it's more fully realized, taking full advantage of the next gen tech. Like this game looks huge. Graphics look great. Like seeing the dialogue, the characters' faces up close. It looks pretty good. The gunplay was nice. Like I'm just blown away by it. It's in the little things, like being able to customize your own ship. Like that to me is just I love that kind of stuff. It's personalized. That's the beauty of what Bethesda does. Your game is personalized to what you want and how you want to play. So therefore, the ship combat exploration that was all tailored to how you build your ship. That's amazing. So the outpost and crew members and how you can personalize it with people you meet along your journey. This is a game I can see myself putting at least 100+ hours into easily. And I'm glad the game got delayed so they can put the time necessary into this game, make it the game we all want it to be. So that is pretty good. I do have some minor criticisms. I do think the omissions of Avowed and GoldenEye I think were noticeable by me, but in the end I'm just nitpicking. Like, I feel like doing an extended showcase of Starfield was the right call to do. And for Obsidian, it was better for Obsidian to highlight Pentiment and Grounded 1.0. I feel like they deserve to be put a little more on the spotlight and not let Avowed steal Obsidian's showings. Avowed could be shown later in the year. That's okay. And even GoldenEye is a smaller game. It's nostalgic, sure, but I feel like they can save that for something else later in the year too. Even things like the rumored Quake reboots or whatever, that could be like in QuakeCon later this summer. So I feel like they packed in this show like so much. Like it wasn't much talking either. It wasn't bloated. Like Sarah Bond talked a little bit, Phil talked a little bit, but otherwise it was game after game after game after game. Like what more could we want? Like they crammed in so many games in that 90-minute window. I feel like you got shows later in the year that they can show whatever they didn't show here, and I got no problem with that. So overall, this in my opinion, the show is like at least I would rate it a 9 out of 10, easily.
Nice.
So, yeah, I got this. The opinion of just someone like a big Xbox fan, waiting for Xbox to really show their stuff. Again, like it's all gameplay. There wasn't much CG trailers. Like they showed the gameplay. So
I think if you're being honest, the gameplay that they showed for Redfall turned out better than I think most expected. I agree with you. Didn't really know what it was going to be about, and now that game looks really sick. Forza, it's just they're a men among boys. I mean, I don't want to put down politically, but because they are very good at what they do. but there's always levels to this, and I think that Forza Tech Turn 10 just showed that they're just leagues above it. I mean, just really wowed us with what they got going on. Really impressed that they have the ray tracing on track in game. So that was spectacular. And then Starfield, which to me looks like the biggest game made of all time. And I think it showed very well. Yeah, did it have frame rate issues? Of course. Did it have little things that could be touched up? Yes, it's going to be touched up as a year out. But for me, and I talked about this when we were doing the introductions, I felt that Xbox went with the gamble here. And the gamble was that they're going to only show 12 months out, and they're going to see if this can all hold up. And I do believe it all held up. They showed over 50 games going into Game Pass or coming to Xbox. I think 35 coming in the next year. Super impressive with that. You're going to be pretty much getting a game or two a month. And that's not including the games that they showed at the Keighley show, which was four pretty decent games that look pretty good. And two Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being one of them. Overall, I have I have it rated like an 8.5. I felt that they could have done some stuff a little bit differently. Maybe kept that PC, the Valorant and League of Legends for the Tuesday show, and maybe slot it out. Maybe put like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for that, because like I said, I really believe that they. I really believe that they did a gamble here, and it's going to pay off. And why I say that is because they got Avowed. You have In Exile's game. You have Compulsions. You have Indiana Jones. You have Hellblade 2. You have a bunch of other games, Obsidian's Outer Worlds 2. I mean, you have about 10 IPs that now you can kind of really, shape up the next year and the shows that are upcoming. So, gaming games, you're gonna have some gameplay of something. You're gonna have an announcement. If you want to do an XO 2022, you're gonna have stuff. And that's not to mention all these projects that they have with global publishing. So they have set themselves up for the future. The only thing they take away is 22 is lacking that exclusive. But listen, I feel, they kind of helped themselves when they have Dark Tide. They have Forza Horizon 5 expansion pack, Dark Tide,
Scorn.
Scorn. The High Life, what is it called? High Life, I guess it's called. Or Life is Good.
Persona 5.
Persona 5, Persona 4, Persona 3, if you really want to get crazy.
We don't know if those are hitting this year.
Okay, yeah, Persona 5 is, though. We do know
Persona
that.
5 is. We don't know about the other two. The other two aren't dated.
We do have the Overwatch beta, the Overwatch 2 beta as well. If I'm not
We have the Overwatch 2 beta. So I think that the next 6 months, or the next bridge to get us to those AAAs are going to happen, where it's gonna be not as annoying or as bad as it was. Listen, 2022 is going to go down for them as one of their lowest years ever, maybe lowest ever, because they didn't have a AAA. But 2023 is going to just bounce right back to probably undeniably their biggest year ever, especially if they get the Activision deal. You're talking about 10, 11 AAA IPs, day one Game Pass, some exclusive, Game of the Year contender, Starfield. Listen, Starfield, the show was about a 7 for me until Starfield. And that's why I say there was a gamble, because if Starfield didn't show the way it did, in my opinion, I think that it would have, it wouldn't have been good. I think it would have been a gamble that failed. But the gamble is that could Starfield hold up, and it held up and exceeded my expectations. I saw Skulls, who's a big guy in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie plays. People, listen, I trust those guys when it comes to this stuff. I'm not going to trust somebody who has hate and wants to, shoot down the game because it was once a PlayStation exclusive for a year. They would have loved the game. If this game was a multiplayer, or if this game was a PlayStation exclusive for a year, those guys would not be shut up about it. So I can't take any of them serious. There's a lot of salty people out there right now. They're trying to say that this is a bad show. But it looks like the masses and the just general public and the analytics are all showing that Xbox had a really good show. Jim Keighley is over 80,000 votes. 39% give it an A, 33% give it a B. The rest round out. But that's over 72% giving it a B or above. Listen, man, they had that gamble. I'm very happy with what I saw. I rewatched it. I'm sure you guys did. When I rewatched that Redfall thing, and I'm just like, wow. I'm like, this game is awesome. And then I see the Forza is just like, what they do. And then Starfield, I rewatched that, and I was just like, this is insane. So yeah, they play a gamble here, and I'm just happy to say that it really it improved itself, and now you have Game Pass, which MLD said it is essential. Like, these people were saying that they're canceling their Game Pass are full of shit. There is so much stuff coming. Go look at that list. And that doesn't even include stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or the games that were announced. It doesn't even include, I don't think, everything that it is. Like, tennis is coming. Like, for me, I'm looking forward to that tennis game. I heard it's pretty good. Been kind of following it. I like tennis. So yeah, man, I'm just very happy as an Xbox gamer. I don't think anybody should be unhappy right now as an Xbox gamer. They are giving you games. You know that this is all coming to a T. This is all coming, they're also showing Diablo on the Xbox Series X. I think that was a very good sign. Having Rod there was very nice. Just little touches like that, won me over. And aside from maybe the show being a little bit, a little bit lengthy in the middle, I think they could have cut it down, and they could have made maybe 1 hour 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They cut out some stuff to just make it a little faster. But my opinion, they knocked it out of the ballpark as far as they had the gamble. And like I said, Xbox fans should be very happy. I mean, there's no more doom and gloom anymore, guys. I mean, you want to doom and gloom, you doom and gloom if the Activision deal gets canceled or gets, doesn't happen. Because if that hits, again, you're talking about all these games, these 10 games that they didn't even show. Activision, all you're gonna have 10 AAA IPs next year, every other month, sometimes 2 a month. However it plays out, you're gonna be inundated with games, and you're probably not gonna be able to keep up. I got news for you, most are not. So it's good times as an Xbox fan, and everyone on the show, I've done the show for how long. These are the good times. Today was a good day, and I'm just happy that it was a hit. I'm just happy that like I said, it kind of hit off with the public. It did, you can only judge Twitter as a bubble. You can't judge fanboys and stuff like that. But when you look at something like Keighley and other votes, where people were just like, wow, and going crazy, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Now, Tim, just to add on to that, what'd you think about the Kojima announcement overall? Because it was done kind of differently from the rest of the show. He just kind of appeared, right?
Well, listen, I think that if it wasn't leaked, it would be a bigger deal, because we've heard from about a year from Grubb with his excellent investigative journalism he had no he knew that this was going down, and you know, a lot of people said he was lying and they called him all this type of shit. But you know, for them to do that, as an Xbox fan and as somebody as a fan of just tech in general, I want new ways to be able to play games. I want different ways to be able to be playing games. I want new and innovative ways, like maybe get an email from the game itself. I heard that was one of the ideas that they were talking about, where you can interact and it can be a part of your game that you're actually playing. That you actually get a real email, and it's from the game, and it's about the game, and it includes something within the game. New stuff, innovative stuff, things built in the cloud, natively, all that stuff. Xbox is the forefront. They're the only ones really doing it. Satya, so, you know, Stadia said that they were going to do it, and Stadia basically tried it for 6 months, and they said, well, it's too much. And now they're just basically a streaming organization or whatever you want to call it. Sony, they're stuck in the 80s. I don't know what they're doing. They're just way behind. They're not going to invest in any of this type of stuff. They don't have the infrastructure. They can't handle it. If they did it, it would have to be third party through another server. I don't think that they have any type of inclination to do something like that. So they're out. Now you have Amazon. Amazon is really kind of just doing their thing, but you have Microsoft who are dedicated a division to cloud gaming. Kim Swift, I think, is the leading it, and now they signed Kojima, and he's one of the most innovative guys. And they want to come up with new ways to play. I mean, how many times are we gonna go, and we're gonna break a box open, and you're gonna do things that we've been doing for 40 years to loot a box or something? Don't you want new ways to play or new things to do? And that's that initiative and that, you know, moving forward for Xbox is what makes me really appreciate Xbox. And it could fall on its face. It fell on its face with Crackdown. But I'm all there for them trying out, and I respect them. And they are trying to move the industry forward. And props to Microsoft and props to Kojima for signing on. You know, I think it's a big deal. It's just going to be far out.
All right, well said there, Timmy. Honestly, yeah, no, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised when I saw Kojima. Very, very curious what he's working on. I do agree that, you know, given what he said, that it is going to be something very experimental from the sounds of things. So I am looking forward to what he's got cooking up. Very early stages, though, from the looks of it. Yeah, I mean, as far as my general impressions, overall I did like the showcase. I thought it was fine. Starfield, I couldn't believe, like, the space combat, building your own ship. I mean, I had heard some things, but damn, like, just to see it all come to fruition, damn, I'm really impressed. I love my my sci-fi epics, and it's just looking like one hell of a game, especially with the different planets you can go to. It sounds like, again, it's like No Man's Sky meets Fallout, and I'm just really, really impressed with what they got cooking up there with Starfield. Now I'm just so sad that we have to wait longer, but I guess the extra polish is needed. It is a Bethesda game after all. And the indies really caught my eye. I mean, we've seen Scorn before, but it looks great. I'm looking forward to that one. Gunfire Reborn, I have seen that on the PC, and it's a pretty cool little game. The Last Case of Benedict Fox, I thought was pretty cool artistically and thematic wise. I don't know if you guys like any of those Lovecraftian types of games. That's what kind of caught my eye with the themes. But overall, I like there's all kinds of stuff that I did really like. I did think that the show started off strong and then kind of puttered in the middle and then really kicked things off like at the end. I thought it was like pretty solid at the beginning and end. Overall, really good show. I would love to hear some more thoughts on this. Centurion Pal, I would love to hear your take on the show. What'd you like? What didn't you like? And so on.
What didn't I? There was one thing I only ran into the show that I guess had happened to me and Stubbs and a couple other people. And for some reason, whatever stream we were watching from Xbox, the closed captioning kicked on, and it wasn't the subtitles. It was the vocal one. And I mean, when you're trying to watch an ARC trailer and there's a guy going, 2 dinosaurs fighting, human hand, I couldn't do it. I had to start looking for a different stream, ended up on a different one where there was somebody doing sign language, finally gave up and just decided to watch it on GameSpot's channel.
That was one of the ones that came up default when you searched it. They had one that was supposed to be like the like, hey, this is what you're supposed to do if you're like seeing impaired.
What was weird was it was
first.
fine for like the first 15-20 minutes, and then all of a sudden it just turned on.
It happened to us as well on Mitch's stream.
My wife is looking at me like, why are they doing the show like this?
I got some not to interrupt, but I got some news for you guys. A little bit of news from the horse's mouth, from people that I've just spoken to. The analytics on the show are absolutely incredible. So it looks like the show's a hit.
Right on. Well, I mean, how could it not be a hit? I remember having discussions with other people when Redfall and Starfield were delayed. There was no way they were going to have gameplay for either one of these games at the show. It was impossible. And we saw they opened the show with Redfall. They closed the show with Starfield. So obviously Xbox, somebody just recently said it on Twitter, Xbox always responds to the criticism and social media moves the goalpost. I enjoyed the show. Definitely a lot of games to behold, a lot of stuff to be excited for. My surprise for the whole thing was High on Life. TimDog mentioned it. Awesome looking. I am not a Rick and Morty fan. I will say that right now. I know there's a lot of people that are. I am not. But this game, it gave me those vibes from back in the day of Conker's Bad Fur Day. And it's really, in my opinion, hard to find a developer nowadays in gaming that's wanting to push that envelope of, hey, what is edgy and very, very adult-oriented, and what is a good way to deliver adult-oriented humor. And I enjoyed this trailer. This was my surprise. I am totally looking forward to this game. It looks like it's going to be fun as hell. There is a lot of other games. We saw the new engine that they're going to be using over on Forza with all the damage tech. I mean, the environments. The fact that the guy was talking about how ambient air temperature, time of day, and what season is going to affect the temperature of the track, and you're going to have to choose your tires and tune your car accordingly. Like GeneralMLD said, this is going to be the simulator of all simulators. It might even set the bar for the generation, and maybe even other simulators going forward into the future. I was completely floored when I found out Overwatch 2 is going free to play. What the hell? That was out of left field for me. Was that out of left field for anybody else? No.
So many of those, like Destiny.
Overwatch 2 will be free to play.
The multiplayer.
Oh yeah, the early access. Yeah,
multiplayer will be.
Yeah, not just the early access, the actual multiplayer. I understand they're doing like the Halo Infinite thing, but it's just the fact that I was like, wow, they're actually going to let people play that for free. Holy cow!
Let's look at like the other FPSs that have done that recently, right? Destiny 2 did. I think Siege didn't they? Like it's a common trend now for a lot of these FPSs to go free to play because they can get a bigger audience and they make more from their microtransactions anyways than they do from their one-time purchase.
I like how you mentioned microtransactions, which has me trepidatious over this, as we saw with Diablo Immortals, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
Did you
we all know that right now Blizzard cannot be trusted with microtransactions. Somebody needs to go in there and like take them away from them.
Did you see the Diablo 4 announcement?
I saw the Diablo 4 announcement. Now, I will be frank, I am not the Diablo fanatic. Now, I was on headset with my brother. He was watching from his house and we were on headset. I told him I didn't want to hear no strange noises through the headphone because, I mean, he was excited for Diablo.
I'm not saying specifically related to the MTX.
The microtransactions for Diablo 4?
Yeah, they said it's only going to be select cosmetics, and then later their expansions. There will not be any other kind of any other kind of page.
Well, I was hoping they would do that with Diablo 4. It's pretty bad when you're connected to the game that has a 1 in 2,000 chance for one piece of crafting material. Anyways, but no, dude, I'm also happy that they got to finally acknowledge ESO at the event with High Isle. I know it's been at other Xbox shows, but it's always been kind of like a cut real quick between other games. I'm really wanting them to recognize that they actually have a pretty big and thriving community underneath their own umbrella. Like, I mean, this is a first party studio now, and they do have a very big community that supports the game. I mean, you can go and play ESO right now. I played it last night, and I mean, there's still people everywhere. Definitely. I mean, dude, the one game that did stand out for me, if we want to go indies, Lightyear Frontier. Did anybody see the mech game?
Yeah,
the mech farming game.
Yeah.
Now, look, they have so many games that like you wouldn't even think, and they were just like, "Wow, that looks pretty sick." I mean,
yeah.
Flintstone, what about Flintstone? Like, what is it? Flint Rock? The hell game
Flintlock
is
that is good. Now I will be absolutely honest. When I saw Flintlock, it did make me laugh because I was like, "Oh look, a third-person over-the-shoulder combat game with an axe."
Yeah.
Sorry, for Flintlock.
Yeah, for Flintlock, but I want to know more. It definitely looks unique. Obviously, she has the Fox character that follows her around. It's going to be definitely a different art form style game, and I'm interested in it. I'm also excited that we now have the full release of Grounded coming. Dude, I played that game when it first came out. That was the one thing I felt that game was lacking, was something to make you want to actually keep going. For me, I needed something more than just wanting to make a house out of sticks and grass. And the story elements, you could see they were there. They just hadn't been implemented yet. And now I'm really wanting to jump back into this game with me and my wife and really experience the full story of Grounded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what that's the thing about game preview, because I remember back a few years ago when We Happy Few was in game preview, you could tell that there was elements of everything there, but it was just it was still pretty rough when it came to like you said, story elements, combat and whatnot. So personally, I kind of keep away from game preview. Personally, I prefer to have a finished product or near finished product. So it is, it's
good game preview.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Deep Rock Galactic,
yes.
Game preview game that actually honestly was really, really well done.
You see, I didn't play it in game preview. It was Downer actually that recommended. He's like, "Oh, we should play it." Okay, and it just happened to be finished.
Dude, I missed the hell out of Downer. I wish he was still here on the show. He bought me that game and got me on it, and I am still thankful to this day.
He's around.
I talked to him today. He was all pissed off, and then he was like, "This sucks, Tim. What the hell? They always screw this up." I'm like, Jeremy, there's 30 minutes of the show left, and he's like, "All right, well, we'll see." And then he really was impressed with Diablo. He liked, but he was really impressed with Kojima, and he was blown away by Starfield. He was like, and he's listen. If he hopefully he's listening after the fact, but that guy is hard critic. So like for him to be totally like, he was like, "Oh, well, I expect Starfield to be," but as it went on, he's like, "This is incredible." I mean, just the way they outlined Starfield, the way they showed how many things you do, how many, I mean, people were saying this is No Man's Sky. I gotta find that funny because when No Man's Sky came out, this was the promise. But if the promise was never fulfilled, now you have a case where, okay, you've had that No Man's Sky hype, but you're getting that promise fulfilled. This isn't some bullshit here, you know what I mean? So, yeah, he overall came around, but he was pissed. He hates the indie stuff. So, I mean, listen, in that middle part of the show, it was a little long running, and that's stuff that they can tape, but like I said, I feel like it was a gamble, and I feel like they came out golden. And now I'm hearing that this show's done incredible. I have some maybe follow-up questions to do better than last year, but I can tell you this much. I always ask 2020, they were like, oh, it's done okay. 2021, they were like, yeah, it's done good. But to get like incredible is good to hear because they look at everything. They look at the show, they rate the segments. They're very analytical with it, and they look at how many people buy Game Pass subscriptions within the day, and all that stuff is all reviewed. So I've known this for a long time, so I always, that's one of the first questions I ask people, and off the record or whatever, they'll tell me. I mean, I never quote, I never name a person or put it out there. I mean, this is very innocent stuff anyway. But it's just great to hear that they sound like they knocked it out of the ballpark.
I got to do Stubbs invited me to do the Stubbs cast with him with all the guys from the UK, and Indie Gamer hopped into the show and was chatting with us. And he pointed out that a mere like 2-3 hours after the showcase, he went and checked how many people had looked at the video for Hollow Knight, the new Hollow Knight game, or what, and it had been viewed over like 200,000 times already. From a lot, at least from the Indie Gamer and everybody else on that show that was really into indie games. The indie scene is alive and on fire right now. Everybody's excited for something on the indie scene. And this is why I just say it's a great time to just be a gamer and just play games. And there's something for everyone. Not at one time can every game on a show deliver to every person that watches it. Everybody has to take what their interests are, and also, I guess, not knock it, because I mean, like, dude, you just hear people excited for what Xbox is delivering. That's what excites me.
Well, the indie games are the ones that are flexing their muscles at the moment. I mean, all the AAA games seem to be delayed, either to next year or a few months later.
Looks like an interest. Did anybody see the one for Ravenlock? Like, it reminded me of, God, what is it? Alice in Wonderland, kind of?
Yes. That's the team behind Echo Generation, and Xbox were really behind that too last year.
And let's see. And finally, I think you already mentioned it, Scorn. Like, I'm ready to get that game out into the wild. I mean, does it exist? Does it not exist? And I also feel the timing is just right. It's releasing in October, so this game is probably going to be a real treat for everybody when it comes to just the experience it's going to deliver, especially if that game turns out to be what the developers described it as.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know, there was just a lot of different things that caught my eye. I mean, everybody's talking about High in Life, that game, again, the Rick and Morty guys. And that's day one Game Pass exclusive. I'm actually surprised that they even got the launch exclusive for that. And it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys played it, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, just the way that the weapons are. Like, they kind of, like, again, there's, like, little faces on them, and in Stranger's Wrath, they didn't talk to you, but they had faces, and they will growl and whatnot. These ones actually, like, talk to you and make comments, and it was just kind of crazy.
I guess they're voiced by one of the voice actors from Rick and Morty. Hearing some of the guys talk about it, I guess they've put a lot of, I guess you would say, cartoon animation into the guns, I guess, because even the knife is a character called Stabby.
Oh, I had no idea, to be honest.
That game looks absolutely crazy, bro. I mean,
oh god, oh my god. I'm just happy to see a game developer want to create something like this.
I just think it's funny. It's like people like to put down games and act like they're dismissive of these games, but you never know with the video game. That game could be a game that makes us laugh our asses off as a classic. You never know. I mean, I get it. You want to have a AAA, and you want to have that AAA to fill out your year and to list it. But the reality is, Xbox is going to be immune for that. But you have to have a little bit of foresight too. You know what I mean? They can legitimately have they could have. I think about is probably going to be 2024. based on some of the stuff that's been thing out. But I think next year they'll have Halo. They'll have maybe they won't have Halo. Maybe they'll have Halo in 2020. They're gonna have something though, possibly with Halo. But they're gonna have, I mean, so many AAAs. Especially if if Activision comes around too. Jesus Christ! I mean, it's very exciting to me that you can have so many games coming. Just in general, the amount of games that they have coming is crazy. And just Game Pass is it's absolutely bananas. I mean, you consider that they get the PC Game Pass is all included. The initiative that they're setting forward with Samsung and stuff, we didn't talk about that because when I was doing the show, we should talk a little bit about it. On the xCloud, the Samsung deal, the dongle that's coming in. Phil's been playing on the Samsung TV for months now, and he says it's amazing. He says it's a really good experience. Because obviously they test out stuff like that, but those are some. I mean, really, I think just Xbox has its shit together. They're so far ahead of Sony and Nintendo that I just can't get over the fact that people just don't give them any kind of credit still to this day. They still try to put them down. They still try to say this is that, this is that. You gotta just one day. I don't think it's ever gonna come, but just say, holy shit. Because they want to one of the things they want to do. This is not a part of the show. This is part of the Thursday show. Was one of the announcements they want to every game cloud enabled. So they theoretically want me to take my entire library wherever I want. I own 1,000 games. Okay, I own 1,000 games. So for the ability for me to take that anywhere where I go, that's powerful to me. And again, this is the type of stuff that makes me love Microsoft. This is the type of stuff that say, hey, why are you such a fanboy? Because you know what? This is really powerful stuff when you think about it. For them to make video games as flexible as video media and music media is, it's just incredible to me. You know what I mean? They're so fast about it. They're so far ahead, and they're pushing forward that a lot of that stuff that we haven't really talked about too is amazing. And maybe that's the reason why they just had a solid week. I mean, people are telling me that this League of Legends deal was huge. Like some guy is going crazy on the internet right now on Twitter, saying that Xbox is just too much of a monopoly because Sony can't compete. I don't know if you guys have seen this thread, but this guy's being sincere about it. He's actually saying, because he's talking about this deal. I mean, I heard that deal is a big deal. I mean, for me, I never played League of Legends, but you know what? Now that I have an Xbox Game Account Ultimate, I can just download it right on my phone.
Yeah. It's not like... Yeah, go. Oh, no, go ahead, finish. I just wanted to say that, it may not be a big deal to maybe us and on social media, but these Riot Games, they make some of the most popular games period. And if the Game Pass perks, because even though these are all free to play games, apparently Game Pass allows you to get certain things that just off the bat, the done easy. You just opened up Game Pass to millions of people that just want that convenience and those perks that only Game Pass is providing. So I think that's actually going to be a low-key thing that will really catch on.
Yeah, this is actually I DM'd Tim, or I didn't DM him. I put it in our chat, in our private chat. But this is what I wanted to respond to him. Tim had said that he thought that maybe they didn't have to have this Riot thing here. I think the Riot thing here was probably, outside of their first party games, was probably as big as the Japanese stuff. That is such a huge announcement.
We're not the only one saying this either. So I've gotten a couple of people who said I'm moron for saying this. So tell me what
Legends and Valorant are currently two of the biggest, if not the biggest, esports games for PC players right now. They're huge. I mean, League of Legends tournaments are worth so much money every year.
I'm ignorant on this. So if I put on my PC, which I have, and I play League of Legends, is it microtransactions involved with it?
Yes, there's lots of skins and things like that. Also, you don't get all of the. It's free to play. Both of these are free to play, and a lot of people are like, "Why are these coming? They're free to play." Well, the first reason's the cloud, but that's supplementary to the fact that they're coming, and if you play them, you get all of the characters unlocked from the start. You don't either have to play to earn them, because normally like you'd have to like earn some of the in-game currency and buy the heroes, the other heroes. Some days certain heroes are free to play. There's always like a core set of them that are free to play. But you either have to pay for them or you have to earn them, and that's how the game works. And the fact that with a Game Pass subscription, you go in and you basically get the complete based version of the game with every hero unlocked. You might not get a bunch of cosmetics and stuff like that. I mean, that's still that's still how Riot and them are going to make their money off of this deal, right? But you go in with everything unlocked in these massively popular, probably biggest amount of people concurrently on PC style games, right? Like in the top 10, 15 on PC. They're not on Steam, so it's hard to track the numbers because Steam's very good at that. But I mean, these are massive, massive, massive games that this is how you get the PC Game Pass numbers up. These are those kind of deals, right? And you know, I think we were talking about last week how you said that you had heard Phil wasn't happy with the 300% increase in PC Game Pass. That
Yeah,
like
Phil
it was
wanted
good,
more.
but he wasn't happy with it.
Yeah, this is true. Or
This is
somebody.
his answer to not being happy with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
This
that makes
is
a lot of sense.
huge.
Now, is League of Legends? I have never played it, and I've heard so much about it. Is it something that you need do you need a? I could play it on my rig anyway, but
You can
is
play
it?
it with low specs.
Can I play it without being? Is it skill based or
It
is
is
it
very skill based. It's a high learning curve, very competitive game. Very not the most friendly
But
community.
it's not where I can buy my, because I hate games where you have to buy yourself. Like I hate games where you just got to keep throwing money at it. If I don't
No.
throw a dime at it, can I be successful?
Yes, especially because the Game Pass is going to give you access to all of the heroes in the game.
Okay.
Now, you are going to have to, it has a very steep learning curve. You're going to have to put time into actually learning how the game's played. It's
Is it
completely
something that you can
multiplayer.
play
It's
on
like a
the-
40-minute multiplayer match. Like each of them they're long matches.
I can see that. And is it something that you can put your Kishi on and legitimately play on the PC on your phone?
I don't know about controller support. We'll see how that ends up going, and touchscreen support. It is
No.
a game that's like very mouse and keyboard driven.
Right.
I don't even know if it has native controller support. Like that's like interesting because like I don't know that Valorant has native controller support.
I saw if you watch it, you'll see them using the touch-based UI.
Yeah, we'll see how good it goes. But like this is like a very big. I think it's big for both companies because getting League of Legends on mobile like that is also really big for them. Like not just for Xbox, right? Like looking at Riot, because they don't really have to do anything. It's probably running. These are probably legitimately running off of Azure servers.
Right.
It's probably the first games we're seeing that are running off of Azure servers instead of off of like Series X blades. So that's very interesting.
Very
To
cool.
hear that. Very, very interesting to hear that. Otherwise, they have to come to console, and they didn't announce that today.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
so this
This
is
is how
it was probably the wildest announcement for me today was to hear that. Not necessarily that it affects me, just like the wildest announcement they could have made was bringing the biggest games on PC to Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was pretty crazy. Actually, there were quite a few. I mean, some that we knew were coming. And Eric, buddy, you've been a gentleman holding off there. I want to get your thoughts on this. Like, Shockley, what's your take from the show? Because I know that you were waiting on a pretty big announcement for a while, probably one of the best kept secrets, or worst kept secrets, I should say, with Persona. But what'd you like? How'd you think of the show?
Yeah, overall, it was definitely kind of like more slow at the beginning. They kind of set the expectation early on, but going in, we were probably thinking like, hey, we might see Avowed, or maybe we'll see more Hellblade gameplay. But they did kind of set the expectation, at least from the start of the show. Hey, this is probably just going to be like the next 12 months. But once the Redfall, that was nice to see actually some of the gameplay, and then also the tech as far as like just like the effects and how the whole gameplay we would kind of go about. So that one looks pretty good and promising. I think after that, it just kind of, other than like things that we knew about, like Plague's Tale coming to Game Pass, High on Life one, that looked pretty good. But I think then you kind of had that, it was just maybe the pacing was a little bit off, or maybe if they just had like one other sprinkle of something in between. But they did have Forza in there. That was good to see. Just a little bit more of that in detail and actual gameplay, especially going back and watching the 4K streams. Because that was when you were seeing a lot of the first-party gameplay, you were like, yes, I want to see this in 4K to actually, because you can't get it with that stream, even as good as you're trying to stream it. It's sometimes it would dip a little bit, and it's not the greatest, but this is probably going to look 10 times better once you watch the 4K version. But yeah, seeing that was nice. Seeing the Hot Wheels part, because I know they had that as DLC in the past Forza Horizon games, but this one looked a little bit different. I didn't remember like the seasons being in there with the and this one kind of looked like the tracks were even more like intricate. But yeah, definitely the highlights, I would say probably the Persona, because like we were just thinking about Royal. I didn't think we were getting like 3 and 4, because I mean you don't even 3. I don't even think at least 4 you could play on the Vita, so you have trophies and stuff. But 3 you don't even have. There's not even a way to have like achievements for that game because it was on PSP. So this might be the first time it even has achievements, would be on the Xbox platform. Some people are thinking that it might get announced at Nintendo show as well. But that's a possibility. But yeah, that was definitely a highlight, seeing how they got all 3 and they're going straight into Game Pass, which is a very smart move, since you don't want to just have them out there and then them kind of not do great, and then Atlas is like, yeah, well, we're not coming back again. So having Xbox gamers get a taste, and it just being fed to them like, okay, here it is, go ahead and try it. And then, because that's the thing with those type of games, once you start playing them, they'll kind of get the hooks in you with the amazing music that they have in those 3 games, as well as like all the gameplay and just I forget, I'm just trying to find the word, kind of like the chase of like, or not chase, but the gameplay loop that they have you in. So that one's pretty neat. That it was unfortunate about the whole Kojima thing, because that would have been an awesome moment of kind of like where you had like when Kojima came on Sony's stage for the whole Death Stranding thing. It was a big thing, even though they didn't have gameplay, but it did show something like a teaser. But
well, that just shows you how early it is, right?
Yeah, and that was early for them too. But at least that was more of a surprise. Like you knew he left Konami, but you didn't really know like, exactly. Oh, he's signed a new project with Sony. Whereas kind of Jeff Grubb kind of spilled the beans on, getting that leak out early that, hey, he's signing a deal with Xbox, where it could have been an awesome announcement, surprise. Because that's the thing that a lot of times we watch these shows for, is like things that we have no idea out of left field that get announced. Because that was some of Sony's biggest shows, when they did a Kickstarter for Shenmue and showed a teaser of Cloud walking and them announcing Final Fantasy VII remake. So that was like, that 2016 show was like one of their biggest shows, and a lot of that was for non-gameplay, because those were big announcements that you just like people were like crying in the freaking audience. So like that was definitely a highlight, and it's hopefully. I think this thing is going to leverage the cloud. A lot of people are saying it's just like a mobile game. I mean, we have no idea what the hell it is. I think it's going to be more like probably Flight Simulator, where it'd be like it says in there that they're leveraging the cloud, so they could still leverage that power. Still, you might have to download a substantial portion of the game, but leverage that extra power to whatever the hell his vision. He's saying it's a crazy new ambitious thing. So, and then the Starfield looked ridiculous. It looked pretty dope, and because a lot of it we thought we were thinking like Skyrim in space. We didn't know about all the other things you could do, like building your ship, the space battles. I was even thinking about that, and just all the other planets. And you can actually go to like any part of the planet, I guess he was saying, because you played Mass Effect back in the day, and it was like more like, hey, you could go to all these different planets, but it was more like you could go to this small portion of the planet.
Well, from what I understood, you could basically go to like any spot on the planet, from what I was to gather.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I'm sure there'll be like cities and things like big landmarks in the world, but probably the rest of the world's going to be procedural, just like the other, because it said 1,000 planets, so there's going to be a very good chunk.
As long as they're not barren like No Man's Sky, like
yeah, all they need is good, procedural, balance of where it's, hey, it has all these different types of assets.
Can I comment on that real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Because they specifically said planets and Goldilocks zones. If you understand, not to be a nerd about it, and excuse the pun, but life is a very difficult thing to happen, and that's why they call it the Goldilocks zone. That is the perfect set of elements you need to create life. Yeah, you're going to be going to a lot of planets, but like if you go on a planet that's just an ice moon, you're not going to see all this. I mean, like our moon here on Earth is a very lifeless, just ball of gray dust, if you really think about it. And that's where, yeah, they're going to have planets that are probably going to be pretty lifeless, but then there's also going to be other planets where they're going to have, I mean, they showed one planet that was absolutely amazing with this creature on it. And I think that's where you're going to see most, I think you're going to see most of that on those Goldilocks planets, because like Earth is a Goldilocks planet.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. But it's
I just wanted to add on to that.
Yeah, it's really impressive what they're doing, even if it's just like, I mean, I just say 1,000 planets. I mean, that's extremely impressive, and just to go through that amount of content, it's gonna take some people a lifetime, like it's crazy. That's awesome. No, they're really doing some, like, again, the space combat really, I was expecting it because I had heard some things, but it looks really smooth. And if you're able to, again, do certain, attach certain, like, specialized weapons, and you can craft your own ship the way that you want it, there's a ton of customization. I'm floored. Like, it looks great. And like you said about the planet with that giant ass creature, oh man, I just oh, it's just nuts.
Now we hit Jurassic Park in space.
Yeah.
Starfield looks like the best parts of Outer Worlds, Fallout, and No Man's Sky put together. Even like the space combat, it looks a little bit like a more accessible version of like everyone played Elite Dangerous, a little bit like that. So it's just like so many great ideas from different games all rolled into one with that Bethesda charm. Okay, sign me up.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to. I wanted to just say I never understood the narrative of Skyrim in space, because then that would be like saying Skyrim is just a fanciful Fallout.
They said Skyrim in space because it's the easiest way to relate a brand new IP to.
No, I meant like the memes that are popping up on Twitter now, basically saying it's basically a clone of Skyrim at this point, and it's like, I wouldn't say it's a clone. I mean, that's like trying to say that Skyrim felt like Fallout. It was built by the same company. Of course, there's going to be similarities.
They're trying to say it's a clone of No Man's Sky right now.
I mean, sorry, clone of No Man's Sky. Sorry, No Man's Sky, that one too. And that's where it's just for me. What can I say? Yeah, the game. Todd Howard took inspiration from a lot of different stuff, and I think gaming has just now got to the point where a game like Starfield can exist. No offense to the developer over on No Man's Sky, but even he knew he bit off a little bit more than he could chew, and the game is just now getting to the point where he wants it to be, and that's where we see that why Todd Howard and his team waited until this tech was here.
Yeah. And believe me, guys, like Xbox wanted to release this game this November. Like they had the ink laid down, you know, it wasn't going to budge, but you know, there must have been something, like there must have been a ton of bugs that were present in the game in order for them to delay it. It's too bad we didn't get a release date from this. Obviously, it's going to be 2023. It's going to be within the next 12 months. I'm kind of ballparking like April or May personally, but hard to say.
I'm going with February or March. I think that Redfall got delayed further.
Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah, and I don't think Redfall got delayed because of anything wrong with it. I think it got delayed because Arcane now has a parent company that can afford them time to give them more resources, and that they showed in their user testing that some of the stuff that they scoped out would be better if they could scope it back in. Does that make sense? Because all games when they're going through development have stuff scoped in and out. Like,
well, it also seems like an October release would suit Redfall better.
What, October?
Well, you got to remember, it's a vampire-based game. You'd want to.
It's still coming in Q1. Because originally it was supposed to come out before Starfield. I think it's now going to come out after Starfield. I believe Starfield's going to be the game to come out first. I think it was delayed longer and harder, not because anything's wrong with it, but because they can scope some stuff back in that would make it better.
Well, now they have a situation where they got so much coming in 2023. Where are you gonna put it? Honestly, like, do you put it in the summer? Do you put it right? Like,
I don't think it matters. I think that they know, like, 'cause a normal company would delay stuff out of 2023 and into 2024, and they would spread out their stuff. I don't know that Xbox actually has that big of an option to do that with as much as they would normally want to because of this year. Next year has to seem extravagant. Does that make sense? Like this year, I think PlayStation delayed their entire year that was planned for 2022 out of 2022 because all three of their games that launched this year were supposed to launch in 2021. You know?
Right.
Because God of War was supposed to launch in 2021. Horizon Forbidden West was. Gran Turismo was. So, and Forspoken was. So, you know, you look at that and you're like, okay, they moved their calendar from 2022 into probably 2023. Plus the PSVR it looks internally pushed because of parts, you know, they had to push that. I don't think Xbox is going to have that choice next year. Mostly because I think they're going to want to make fans be like, look, here are the games, right? So, you know, I think that as soon as it's ready to ship, it's going to ship. I think Redfall comes out in, like, I think Redfall takes the April-May slot, and I think Starfield comes out in March. March or even late February.
Yeah. Now, was there anything else that really caught your eye during this presentation, Crusader? Like anything that really surprised you, like a new announcement, or like anything that, or maybe something that was missing?
It was Project Indus, which we now know is called the Civ game, the 4X Civ game.
Oh yeah, Aura History Untold. That's what it's. Bioxide Games. Yeah, that got announced.
Game. I mean, we didn't see game. That was a cinematic trailer. We didn't see much real gameplay of it. You know. I have like 1,000 hours in Civ 6 and probably 1,000 hours in Civ 5 because I'd play them while I'd be studying in college. Because a turn-based, you can just take a turn, read a couple pages, take a turn, read a couple pages. So you have me at 4x turn-based civilization builder. You know, I'm going to be playing Humankind when it hits Xbox again.
Yeah.
I played it on PC. That was a announcement at Keeley's show. Yeah, so like that caught my eye. I'm excited for that. Also, the stupid Minecraft game doesn't look half bad.
Yeah, that's a strategy action game too, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's really weird because it's like it's a mixture of genres because it's not a strict like RTS, right? You appear to be in control of a character, and then you're doing more than just being in control of that singular character. So I'm very interested. It looks like a combination of an RTS and Minecraft Dungeons, and I'm all kind of here for it.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but I always forget about Minecraft, even though it's this behemoth of an IP, and it's everywhere and anywhere. You know, kids love it, even adults love it, and I always keep forgetting that it's such, you know, a large IP that Xbox paid like over $2 billion for, you know, back in 2014, and it does make sense that it, you know, it's got to appear at some point, right? So, but I don't know, just like it. That surprised me though. That honestly did. Minecraft Legends, I believe it's called.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Minecraft has Minecon, so like they do hold the. I'm surprised actually that this was even here. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, like why show it here? Also, it does look like it's exclusive. That was really interesting. It has like no other platform.
What?
I don't know if
I don't
it
know
is,
about
to be honest.
No, because the rating. I saw something about it. Let me find it and I will report back.
Because I would just assume it'd be like Minecraft Dungeons.
I did too, but Tom Warren was looking at like the rating stuff, and it's like only like registered for like not all platforms.
Finally, if true, hopefully it's true. I mean,
I don't know.
First party. But yeah, I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'll wait till this is official.
I'm on the website right now. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't really say on its website. I could have sworn it was for all platforms though, but
on the topic of like whether or not things are exclusive, can we now confirm that Overwatch and Diablo are multi-platform? Was that? I wasn't sure about that. You think they will be?
It is multi-plat. You're right.
Both of them will be. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the very least, we'll get them on Game Pass. I feel like, yeah, these games are coming out a little too soon before the deal can be finalized. Yeah, I think it just is what it is. It's just one of those things where they have to wait out the contract, I guess, or I guess that's how it was intended to be. So, okay, I'm just confirming that.
Diablo also could fall into that big multiplayer has a multiplayer driven community thing that they were talking about earlier last week.
Well, being on Game Pass is still a big win.
So like, you know, Diablo, Overwatch, Call of Duty, like StarCraft, those kind of things. They're big, existing, have huge player bases, communities. I could see those being multi-plat, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, if it launches that way, then yeah, for sure.
Well, not even that. Like, I could see like a Diablo 5 even being multi-plat. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you.
Well,
let's not talk crazy here, but
no, because it is a big multiplayer game with a driven community behind that multiplayer, and that's what they're talking about.
Well, Counter, it's primarily based on PC. Console, not so much for Diablo.
Yeah, so Diablo 3 was the only one that was on PlayStation.
Yeah, but it's primarily a PC-driven community. So
but I mean, it's been there for how many years now?
Yeah, but
continuously getting updates, continuously getting new content.
Doesn't mean
I see, because like Blizzard games last forever. I don't know. If I heard that Diablo 5 was going to continue to be multi-plat 10 years, 20 years down the line, it wouldn't shock me.
We'll see. But yeah, I guess it will be a long wait between releases, I guess.
Yeah, like that's something we're gonna know anytime soon.
My opinion on that is, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
My opinion on that, we're talking about Diablo 4's exclusivity.
Yeah,
I think it's. Listen. I think it's pretty clear that Diablo 4, Uncharted,
Overwatch.
Overwatch, COD, anything like that previously with a pre-existing crowd is going to be facilitated, and they're not going to take it away. I think that's because that was put forward by Phil early in the talks, because that was going to probably be a bone of contention with the FTC, and they got ahead of that. But I did hear, and it was a part of that welcoming thing that they did with the content creators and all that stuff, that video that they released. They basically said that they are going to have exclusives.
Yeah.
So that could be that survival game that they teased. That Red teased. Do you remember that game? It was like they just talked about it. So
Oh, yeah.
anything new, any new IP. Diablo 4 and further, I think that will be
What would you say about like Spyro?
What? Pyro, listen, I think that you really think about it, they should have them on PlayStation, because like Crash sold 70% more on PlayStation, and a lot of people identify with them as their their whatever it's called,
Mascot.
Mascot. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little tired now. But yeah, so I don't have a problem. Day one Game Pass to me is more really what matters. Day one Cloud too is also very important. And I heard also on Thursday that they want to everything from Xbox Studios from now on forward is going to be cloud ready day one. So the ability to play Modern Warfare 2 day one on Game Pass and then on the cloud, let's just say the deal went through, is huge. And I don't really think that they need to play the exclusivity game with the Activision deal. I'm fine with them, recouping the most that they can and just having, having the exclusive stuff, whether it be Game Pass day one, cloud, developed on Xbox first and foremost. Every game, every COD moving forward shown on Xbox. Marketing deals. Well, it's not even a marketing deal because it's part of what you do. Leverage that. I mean, the ability to play every Call of Duty is a very powerful thing, and the ability to play every Call of Duty on PC, tablet, phone is a very powerful thing. The ability to play Warzone 2 without an Xbox and just an Xbox Live account and a controller is very powerful. So yeah, I think that's the mindset moving forward with that. And if they do get Activision next year, it's going to be a big boom for them. Like I said today, overall, I'm hearing it's been an absolute smashing success, and that's happy. Because, like I said, I always ask. I've been doing E3 now for. I didn't go this year, but every E3 and show, I always check in with them. They always give me the time of day too, so I have to give them a shout out. Whether it'll be Aaron or be somebody within Xbox. I talked to a couple of people, but I never ask them anything that's really something I shouldn't be asking. I'll ask them, hey, what are the analytics? And I can tell you that they've been always, pretty straightforward. Like I remember in 2020, they said it's okay. We got to see more improvement. But to hear that they like smashed that ballpark today means that they're resonating with the casual crowd, the crowd that they lost last generation, the crowd that was saying that they had too big of a console and they do DRM and all the stupidity that went along with that. Right now, it seems like they come back to that look like they are as popular as they were with the 360 or more. And, I'm just happy about that. And it's a lot of tangent, but I do think Diablo 4 and those franchises will always be from now on.
Mm-hmm. And just to answer a question that we had earlier, Diablo 4 is going to PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles. So,
Yeah, it does look like it dropped last gen though.
no,
I don't think so.
no, it's
Did
still
it not, or is the beta only on last gen?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
no,
Because the
it's
sign
going.
up on Blizzard's website is only for next gen.
Well, beta's probably only for next gen, but it's still apparently going to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One consoles.
Okay.
So there's that. So yeah, they're gonna be supporting a lot of different hardware, which is interesting. But I mean that's good for them. I mean obviously that deal, the Xbox deal between them and Activision Blizzard has not been finalized as of yet. That's I don't know. Who knows when that's going to be finalized? It seems like it's moving along pretty
I'd say
well.
March.
Yeah.
I'd say March. I heard it's halfway through. The biggest thing about that is that, and I reported this here, and the guy Brad Smith's big deal, and he feels strongly about this case, and rightfully so. I mean, if they had something that was like really like, listen, if Xbox was saying screw you, we're keeping everything exclusive, and we're gonna fight you on that. Yeah, then you're gonna have an argument, and you don't know which way that's gonna go. But when you have Xbox saying, "Hey, we're going to open up our whole storefront to everyone. We're going to have these games with existing communities. We're going to support them just the way they were, and we're going to play nice. And hey, we're also Microsoft. We're the people that help your government with hacking and all the type of stuff that we've been happening." I think that the government is going to. I don't think they're going to make a case. I think that they were hot and heavy in the beginning, but they played this right. And like I said, Brad is a very powerful person, and he strongly believes that they have a case here that this should not be blocked. And if they dare block it, basically he's going to tell them you're going to lose a lot of money, and you know what? You're wasting taxpayers' money, and they're going to obliterate them in court, and it's going to be no contest. The deal is going to get passed. It's just going to be passed a year later. So I think it's looking good, to be honest. And I wasn't. You guys know I wasn't always that confident in him. Now I'm just like, yeah, it's on.
Yeah, judging from the general mood of things, from what we've been seeing, it looks like things are going along pretty well there, Tim. I agree. So, no, I mean, I'm pretty hopeful. And, if it's done by March, I mean, it's still a ways off. But, just think about it. It was only back in, mid-January that it got announced. So, I mean, time's just flying by. So, guys, one game that I really want to talk about was, very big surprise. It got brought up earlier in the show was that game from Tecmo Koei from Team Ninja.
Team Ninja.
Long. Yeah.
I was just about to say it.
Yeah, Shock, talk about it, because I mean nobody was expecting that. Wolong Fallen Dynasty. What did you think about that game? Like that trailer?
Yeah, it gave me definitely some Neo vibes. So I wasn't sure if it was like this Neo 3 and it's like coming to Xbox or something. But yeah, it looked pretty dope. And that's definitely a good get for Game Pass day one. So they didn't announce it as a console launch exclusive, but they have yet to. You can't find any wording of PlayStation about it. So it's weird that they're not saying it's coming to Xbox first, but there is no mention of PlayStation anywhere on their own website or any articles. And they're not saying it's an console exclusive or just exclusive or anything, any type of wording like that. So it seems weird, but it seems like they're not able to say PlayStation anywhere. So I don't know what type of deal they got going on other than Game Pass day one. But
good. They're just like Sony then, where they're very vague with the platform availability. If they can get away with it,
yeah,
good.
But you usually find out right after. It's like, hey, what was it? The Resident Evil, it's coming. The remake for 4, it's coming. They didn't mention Xbox, but right after you knew about it. But this one's even a new game. There's not even like a really. I think this was a world premiere.
Yeah.
So I don't
Was
think
it
there was anything
on
supposed to be-
Game Pass at least, or they didn't say
Yeah.
that?
No, it's a
Yeah,
Game
Game
Pass game.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's like not even up on Koei Tecmo's like YouTube.
Yeah, it's
yet.
not. Has no
Like-
Wikipedia page. It was definitely a world premiere no one knew about.
Yeah, but I guess everybody's just wondering if this is a full-on exclusive or one of those launch exclusives. They didn't really specify, I don't think.
Yeah, Koei
Yeah.
Tecmo doesn't even have it on their own YouTube page yet.
'Cause-
Like-
It could just be where they're just focusing on like one console right now, and then it's not like there's no deal in place, but they might just be focusing on one platform at a time.
Well, it's interesting too because this game's not too far off. It says early 2023. So
Hey, what you guys do of Ark? What you guys do? There's so many games, man. I mean,
Ark, it's funny you bring that up, Tim, because Ark had a CGI trailer, but I don't think it showed off any gameplay.
I think it was CG. I think so.
Yeah. I remember when it first got announced, 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago at the Game Awards. I mean, that was another CGI trailer, it's fine, don't get me wrong, but I was actually expecting some actual gameplay for Ark, so it just kind of, I don't want to say it put me off.
Yeah, exactly. I felt the same way. I feel like they're kind of like hiding or something. It did show Vin Diesel though.
Yeah. But they showed him in the original trailer too, so that's why it just kind of threw me off that they didn't really, again, show anything for. It was just like a brief Ark trailer, which again, I'm a lot of people are looking forward to it. It's just I think people, they did show a lot of gameplay. Just Ark was kind of, the one that we knew about that we figured would be at the show, and they just didn't really show anything. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a letdown personally, but
that battle royale looked pretty cool. Apparently, it's been at number 7 constantly, like with 30-something thousand concurrent players on Steam daily. So I think what was it called? Was it Kanaka? I can't remember what it said.
Naraka Blade Point, I think you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not usually big into battle royales, like shooters, but that part looked cool. And from what I've heard, I think with the Kind of Funny cast, they said like the Kevin on there was talking about like the actual action, like the moves and stuff you can pull off with your character looks really cool. So looks like an interesting one. Plus, it has a story campaign. So I guess that's dropping in Game Pass, and I think that drops the same day as Sonic Origins, like not next week, the week after, in Game Pass day 1. So.
Wo Long isn't exclusive.
No.
Yeah.
Team Ninja, or Gameotsu got Team Ninja's press release for it, and it lists everything, but the press release is dated to go live on June 14th.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right. So it's probably just a timed thing.
Yeah. It's coming out on all platforms. It's just the press release isn't supposed to release until the 14th of June for some reason. They think it was an error in something, because they only got the press release from Team Ninja themselves. It's not the Koei Tech, it's not even from Koei Tecmo.
That's kind of bad communication on their part.
Yeah, something similar happened with, I forget what game. That there's people talking about it. But I'll put the article in our chat.
You're the man, Crusader. Great. We've had so many podcasts the last couple of days, right? I put in a double dip on
3 today.
I did TXR, RDX. TXR RDX Tuesday. Friday I had a double dip. I had Maz's show, Fun Speculation, and Mooch's show. And today I had last Sunday I had the prediction show at our friends Iron Lords.
Yeah.
And tonight I had this show. and the RDX after show. Damn man, I'm shot. And tomorrow I'll have to go to the city. I have some event that it's just for I can't really talk about it, but it's for undisclosed thing that for video games that I have to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. I have to. I think I'm going to drive in. So I mean, get me past you tomorrow, and I'll be all right. I don't know if I should take the drive. I hate taking the LIR in the Long Island Railroad. I just feel like it's just debilitating. Like I figure if I could drive in at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning and get into the city and then find a parking garage and sleep for an hour or whatever, I could do it. That's better because I'm going to be getting out of there at like 1 o'clock.
All right. Yeah, no, Tim, do what's best. Honestly, I mean, you sound pretty tired. I mean, pretty wired. Like it's been a good week,
Yeah, I'm
right?
wired and I'm tired. I'm wired, tired, and I'm excited. That's
Yeah.
the worst because for you to try to get sleep, after this show, and this is just off the cuff, I think we could do that. We've, talked a lot about the show, but after the show, I'm going to be looking at the Mets. I'm going to probably rewatch all these freaking Game Pass things because there was a lot of stuff, and I think everyone should rewatch in 4K, and just rewatch the games like that interest you. Like that game, I have to watch that game. I still can't say what is it, High Life? That game looks sick, bro. There was other games too, like Flintlock. And then there was like even other games like this seemed very interesting. And I'm gonna watch that, so I'm probably gonna get maybe 6 hours sleep. But you know what? I'm off for a couple of days, so I'll handle it. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited, man. I'm just excited that I watched the show today, and I knew that it would be getting. So I knew this was a gamble that they did mid-show, and then when Starfield hit and did what it did, I'm just happy that it seems like it really resonated with the casuals, and they for the fact that they had a miserable 2022 without any exclusives. If they can come back and really show what they got next year, I don't think there's going to be any stopping Xbox. They still get a lot of hate, but I'm just really impressed with the amount of Game Pass. 38 games, somebody was saying, and I'm reading up to $2,700 in value. Hey.
And all you have to do is play 3 games, just 3 of them, to even out your yearly sub. That's insane.
And they're running the dollar deal again, just so you know. If you want to convert, you can. If you haven't, they're running that 3-month deal for $1. They started that today, from what I heard. Probably why they saw a big bump in the numbers too on Game Pass.
Well, even the Xbox rewards too. They've been doing a thing the past week where you just complete a bunch of different tasks and you earn like 2,000 reward points, which is pretty awesome. So, I just like their programs and their services. Like they just go above and beyond personally, and they keep improving them. So
easy to Wu Long. Did we talk about Wu Long?
Well, yeah, we
that's
just
the Team Ninja game.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big deal.
It's not from what we can tell, it's not exclusive, but that announcement isn't officially coming until the 14th.
It's a console exclusive, though. I mean, it's a launch exclusive.
It didn't say that in the show.
But it is coming to Game Pass.
It is coming to Game Pass.
To get a Team Ninja game day one into Game Pass on release, that is pretty big. That's
yeah.
Like
just to get one in general, because they've been skipping Xbox with Neo. So
yeah.
What'd you guys think of Scorn?
Love it.
It's too gross for me.
It's disturbing, but I love it. I love all that HR Geiger stuff. No. Like it's so intriguing and it has a unique design to it. I'm still kind of curious about the actual like gameplay aspects to it, but I'm excited to give it a shot. Like it seems up my alley, right, for a horror game. So I'm for it, and I know Centurion is too.
Oh yeah, it looks a little more slow paced compared to say Callisto Protocol, but I think I'll wait for the critical reception, read some reviews, read some takes before I give it a try. It looks like, yeah, I'm on the fence with it right now, personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm really curious about Josh Sawyer's game, the one from Obsidian, Pentiment. Uh,
Yeah.
I know that, I mean, it's not going to be for everyone. It's a little lower scale. It's a 2D, like, side-scrolling game. But just because it's like a medieval, puzzle slash, I almost want to say murder mystery in some ways, I'm curious. I'm really curious about it. So I wanna give it a shot. I just hope that it's not lost during the November game releases. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not going to attract like the millions upon millions of gamers because it looks like an indie title, but like the guy's pedigree speaks for itself to everyone who knows him. If it has like the personalized, choice-driven, if the adventure is tailored for you and what you want to do, and it has like the spider web of branching choices, there's a market for that. Like a lot of gamers want to see more games like that, despite like its art style.
Mm-hmm. Now, was there anything, guys, that you felt was like missing from the show, or you thought that would be there but didn't make it? Because I thought Contraband was gonna make it personally.
Yeah.
They had a trademark for it, like what, a week ago or a couple of days ago. I thought it was gonna we were gonna see something from it, but it just never showed. Yeah.
So I thought just my expectations for the show were thrown out the window as soon as they said it's games in the next 12 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot that I thought was going to be there that as soon as they said it's about the next 12 months that I knew wasn't going to be there. I think they should have done 18 months and not 12 personally, so that they could get one or two more first-party AAAs in there, because that's what felt a little lacking, in my opinion. That's what takes it from that's what takes my, like, a thing from an A to a B for the show. So, like, I think they could have gotten the fall 2023 games, because Lord knows they have to have at least one, if not two, AAA fall 2023 titles, right? They have to.
They will.
Logically. If they don't, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So
to build on that,
that's what felt missing for me.
Yeah, to build on that, given that they said 12 months, GoldenEye's emission was kind of head scratching to me. You think that it was all but confirmed with the achievements online. So I'm wondering why they're saving that one for later in the year, or if it's not coming out like the last time they attempted it. I don't know. I felt like it should have been there too.
Was it Invader who said it when we were talking beforehand that maybe it's because they have to do something with Nintendo?
It's possible.
Because of like the rights mess that is in fact GoldenEye.
It might be at Nintendo show.
Yeah,
because
like
maybe that's the deal they had to make. Hey, well, it's going to be at our show, but yeah, after we announce it, then there'll be like a news or press release saying, "Hey, it's coming to Nintendo and Xbox."
Yeah, because the writing's on the wall. The achievements are there, guys. It seems like it's ready to release and
they're
ready
unlocking
to show.
them.
Yeah, they're unlocking them, and Sarah Bond was teasing some stuff like a couple of days ago, right? Like something GoldenEye related, which was kind of interesting. So, my feeling is that it's either going to be at Nintendo's Treehouse event, whenever that is, or I mean,
this is Wednesday or something.
Yeah, or guys, isn't Xbox having another like after show thing on Tuesday? Are they having like another for new content?
It's supposed to be all new like trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's unclear if it's like anything new will be shown there, or if it's new but new stuff from what they announced.
That's what I think it is. Stuff that they already showed.
It makes sense. It is just an N64 game, just with, hey, we basically gave you a mode that's like using like the Unreal Engine. If we just ran this through it, and it's because I played it, it's literally one for one, exactly the same game, kind of like Halo Anniversary, and it just has a new coat of paint, and you can just press a button and it flips back and forth between the two instantly on the fly. Otherwise, it's the identical game.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess the more I think about, I mean, it's possible they'll show up at Nintendo's stream event. So, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, there's a bunch of shows going on the next couple of days. Capcom is tomorrow. Again, like, hey, we'll wait a couple of days and see what happens. It'll give us something to talk about next weekend for sure. Now, guys, we had talked about this because, again, where there was some interesting leaks over the past couple of months on the store, and we thought, oh, you know, it was going to show up, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah,
you know, like Age of
so.
Empires or Rise of Nations possibly coming to console. I know, Tim, you had, like, a strong feeling that we're going to get, like, an Age of Empires announcement for console, but I don't know.
I had asked, and I was basically told a while back that they want to unify everything. So any game that comes out on PC should come to Xbox. Flight Sim was part of that initiative. So I think there's still an open possibility for that, especially when it's in Game Pass. So keep your eyes out open for that one. Maybe they just can't do it. Maybe it's too elaborate. That's possible too. But I was disappointed that wasn't there today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like it's being said in the chat, there were a lot of leaks that kind of didn't show up during the show. I mean, because I remember, I think it was Grub that talked about, a Shadowrun game possibly in the works. I mean, it would have been good timing with that's the games going into Game Pass basically, in a few days. It would have been nice to see like a trailer or something for something new on that end. You know, nothing showed up there. Project Dragon, nothing there. For IO Interactive, you know, there's a few titles that we know of, things that are in the works that, you know, nothing really. Same thing with certain Affinities game as well. And one thing, actually, you know, just to kind of slowly wind things down, guys, I was kind of surprised we didn't see any Halo Infinite content, to be honest with you. Like, maybe we'll see it tomorrow, but I was just kind of surprised it didn't show off, like, oh, here's season, you know, a tease for, like, Forge or season 3 or something. I don't know, I just kind of, I did think that we would have saw something for it, but that's just me.
So, I mean, Forge, yes. I mean, what would they show for season 3? Season 3 is not until, like, what, November?
Yeah, it's a bit of
like,
I don't know, they might have, I don't know, just a tease of something, you know?
You know, we know that they have something for Halo on June 14th. I was saying this to other Zinc in chat. They teased June 14th way back in May when they showed off Season 2 for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not this is actually going to be at the extended showcase or it's going to be in its own little Halo announcement on the same day, who knows? But they teased explicitly June 14th back in May. So we will see Halo at some point. I just think I don't think they had a big enough announcement for Halo that's coming soon enough to show that they're ready to show.
Yeah, is what it is. 343. They just need more time in the oven. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure Forge is working right now, but I'm sure the UI is not clean because it's like one of the last things you do, right? So like, you don't want to show that, and they probably don't want to make a cleaned up version for a showcase that they're going to be in for 30 seconds with Forge. They probably didn't want to do a teaser for the Endless, which I'm sure is. I am 99% sure that's going to be a story campaign expansion.
Oh, Gary.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
Right.
you know, when the focus was gameplay, imagine the crowd reaction if the Halo content was a cinematic CGI-ish trailer for a story expansion. That would not, like, I mean, I would have loved it personally because I love the Halo, the Halo, like lore and stuff like that. But I don't think it would have. I think it would have gone over like a lead balloon with very loud, obnoxious people, you know, because like, oh my god, we're still getting CGI trailers for Halo Infinite. That would not have. So you know, that's not going to happen. So what do they show? I think tomorrow is a great, or I mean, not tomorrow. The 14th is a great day for them to show Forge, because that's like the developer insight day. And we had one or two weird things. Like, I think we got like a Hellblade video documentary at last year's extended showcase. Did we not? Like, I'm almost positive we did.
I'll be honest, I can't remember.
Like Ninja Theory showed up, and like there was not a whole lot of new stuff for people to latch onto besides like dev talk, right? But like there was definitely one or two things last year that like weren't at the original showcase, but it wasn't like a trailer. You know, it was devs coming out to talk. So I mean, that would be a good time to come out and show Halo's Forge. You know what I mean? Show it off and be like, hey, this is our very in development. We didn't want to show this in a trailer, but here you guys can see a little bit behind the scenes. Here's Forge. You know?
Yeah.
So that could be on the 14th.
Yeah, and that's a fair comment, honestly. Yeah, you know, you are right. They were teasing something about that date for sure. And I guess just to like slowly end off too, I was kind of bummed that we didn't see anything for Avowed personally.
Yeah, big sad.
Yeah, that looks like it might have went under some reboots, and according to our favorite Jason Schreier, who does have definitely legitimate contacts, said that it's one of the reboots, some change of management. You know, he showed his ugly appearance today. You know, he was fighting with Cloverall, but that doesn't dissuade from the fact that he did have some news on that, and it makes sense because they should have been there today at this point. So you know that title might have been pushed back again. You know, it might be 2024. But regardless, they got to get these games right, and they have to have them, you know, the right way. You can't have them done the wrong way, and you can't rush them. And there's no need to rush, especially the lesson that they learned this year. There's definitely no need to rush ever if you can handle it. It looks like they're handling it. So, yeah, I agree. I felt like the 12-month thing was a limiting factor to them, and it definitely was not the best thing you could do to start off the show like that. But next year, I hope that they're much more liberal with that. I think that the 12-month thing was strictly because of the Starfield delay, and everyone saying the Starfield delay and the fact that Forza was not going to hit in the fall was the big factor. So they wanted to focus on what they did, and I think that the game plan went according to well. They got by, and seems like they survived it, and now they're just going to be freaking absolutely loaded, and they're going to have a ton of stuff, as we know, but more stuff to announce. Game Awards, we're going to all be sitting pretty, knowing that we're going to get information, possibly an XO this year. So keep your eyes out opened, and for me, I'm going to go to sleep now, guys. It's been an awesome day, and we'll talk more next week. Hopefully, we get some news Tuesday. It's been a pleasure, and take care.
All right, sounds good, Timmy. Get some sleep for sure. You're definitely putting in your hours the past week.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll start closing off things, guys. But I put a little vote in the chat. How is everybody rating the show? Some people gave it an A at 31%, a B at 42%, C at 23%, and D for 5%. So overall, I mean, pretty. There seems to be a pretty positive response from the chat, from the viewers, people who are, I guess, more inclined to be Xbox fans, obviously, because if you watch the show, but people seem to be happy about it. So, I mean, that's a good thing. I like the gameplay overall, the focus on gameplay. Forza Motorsport looks fantastic, man. Maple Valley, oh man, that track looks fantastic. I love what they're doing with that. I can't wait to play that. Just too bad that it's not this fall, but hey, gotta wait a couple of months. Does anybody else on the panel have anything else that they want to add before we start closing things off? Yes, no?
No, I mean, good showcase. Not the blow me away I was hoping for, but like not bad by any stretch of the means. better than anything we've had in the last while. You know, probably the best showcase we've had in a few years.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, again, personally, I enjoyed the focus on gameplay. Sure, there was a few CGIs, but I did really appreciate that there was more of a they wanted to push gameplay out. So
I mean, yeah, CGI is fine when you have that much gameplay. Just it's great.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Obviously, again, I talked about some games I would have liked to have seen, but I guess that's personal preference. Personally, otherwise, yeah, I was happy. There were some nice surprises in there too. Overall, I thought it was a fine show. But yeah, guys, I think on that note, folks, we'll, we've had a good time here. We'll start just wrapping things off and calling it a night. Awesome stuff tonight with our coverage and thoughts on Xbox and the Bethesda showcase. There were lots of games showing off, and overall, just, again, a pretty good show. Please let us know what you thought of the show in the comments section. As well, remember to smash that like button and sub to the channel, as we'd love to have you stick around. Next up, why don't we make our way over to the outros, starting off with Eric Shockley. Buddy, hey, good commentary tonight. I loved your excitement, especially for, the persona and whatnot. Where can everybody follow you?
Yeah, as always, you can find me at ShockNero on Twitter, EZShock on Xbox Live. But yeah, overall, decent show for the for the Xbox showcase. Good to see finally see the gameplay, and at least the next 12 months we have pretty much constant stuff dropping in Game Pass starting next week with Shredder's Revenge, and then you have stuff leading all the way out with like Plague's Tale, that Fallen Dynasty early next year. So we have a lot of content coming throughout the rest of these few months. And then hopefully that carries on where, we're going to have consistent games as Bethesda's games, start dropping. Hopefully we get more info on Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo at the beginning of next year. And then we have a bunch of slew of games to play, but we'll see.
Yeah, well said. I totally agree. Moving on down here, GeneralMLD, buddy. Loved your takes tonight. Again, lots of good stuff showing off. Where can all the fine people tuning in follow you at?
Thank you. You guys can find me at MLD Ghost on Twitter, GhostMLD on Xbox Live. You'll find me gaming there. Overall, this was a great show. We asked for gameplay. We got gameplay. Got a lot of first-party variety, a lot of day one Game Pass titles, both multi-plat and timed exclusives. I feel like they hit all the bases, minor nitpicks aside. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one on Tuesday.
Yeah, totally, man. And even so, again, there's other shows too. Capcom, Nintendo, and so on. I know different tastes, obviously, but lots of good stuff to keep us entertained. Anyways. Moving on here, Centurion, buddy. Hey, I thought you had some really great insights tonight. Love your takes on things as well. Where can all these beautiful people follow you?
Oh, for sure. It was an awesome day today. Thank you, gentlemen, for discussing the show. Awesome discussions. Thank you to everybody that joined us in the chat. For those interested in following me, find me at Centurion1307 on Twitter, Xbox Live, and of course, YouTube. You can also find me right here every Sunday night on the TXR Podcast. And you can also find me every Wednesday night over on Gaming Beyond the Box.
All right, good stuff. Definitely follow Centurion. And who do we got here? Crusader, my bud who's hopped up on lots of caffeine at the moment. I know, again, you've been making the rounds today.
Much caffeine.
Great show, bud. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Crusader3456 on Twitter, where I will be talking about everything under the sun from all of the various many showcases this week for the next few weeks, because there's a lot of good stuff shown for everywhere. Everyone had great showcases this year. Yeah, and gaming r/gaming leaks and rumors, same username as I am on here and on Twitter. So that's the shtick.
All right, you got it, my friend. And let's see, to close out the show, you can find my content on YouTube at Invader Gaming. I just happened to drop a video a few days ago for a review, actually, for Kirby and the Forgotten Land, so be sure to give that a look if you got some time, guys. Great show tonight, and yeah, again, guys, we look forward to catching you here on the next one. Later.